Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the DC Tournament of Powers candidates. If DC were to compete in a Tournament of Power, their 10 best candidates would be on this list in my opinion. Now first on the list will be Superman. We all know his abilities: super speed, super strength, excuse me, heat vision, ice breath, x-ray vision, so on and so forth. We all know Superman's abilities. He'd be a prime candidate for the Tournament of Power. He could probably go up against Goku. He might be able to go up against One Punch Man. He's got a lot of abilities that will come in real useful or whatever. He might even be able to tackle Jiren out of the ring with the help of somebody else. Now, we all know that he came from Krypton. He's weak against Kryptonite. They're not going to be able to use Kryptonite against him in the tournament. Super speed, super strength, so on, so forth, ice breath. All the abilities that we all know and love from this character. I'm sure he'd be able to demonstrate against the other universes that will be competing. Now, there's going to be 9 other characters on this list. Some of them not as strong as Superman. Some of them might be even stronger. Now, this next artwork right here, this is by Ed McGuinness. He makes Superman look super diesel and super muscular in everything that he draws. Next up on the list is going to be Icon. Icon is basically the equivalent of Superman in strength and abilities. He doesn't need air or food to survive, none of that. Icon is a genius. He can fly. He uses something called positron manipulation, which when a positron touches something, it causes it to be destroyed. Basically, he can shoot giant concussive blasts, Kamehameha type blasts. This dude is like a black Superman, possibly a little bit stronger. Real OP. He got force fields, all that shit. He can breathe in space, super speeds, super fucking sight, super strength. You name it, this guy got it. He can shoot a laser blast at you and turn you into fucking dust, this guy. This guy could definitely beat Krillin. He'd definitely give Goku a run for his money. You know, he originated in something called, I believe it was called the Milestone Universe, created by Dwayne McDuffie. Had a lot of black superheroes. Recently, he was annexed into DC. He's a DC character now. Next up on the list is going to be Superboy Prime, one of the strongest characters in the DC universe. Just look at him. He's like an evil young Superboy with body armor that's 10 times stronger than a regular Superboy. Amazing. This dude beat the shit out of all the Green Lanterns. One after the next till they were all dead. At least I think he killed a couple of them. Maybe not all of them. They wound up imprisoning them somehow. Now this guy's power is crazy or whatever. He's got body armor that feeds him yellow solar energy. So he's constantly strong. He's immune to kryptonite. He's one of the strongest Kryptonians, bottom line. He was featured in Crisis on Infinity Earths. So now it's like you got 2 Supermen on the list. Plus Icon. You got 3. There's a picture of him fighting everybody. Kicking everybody's ass. Look at him. Nobody could stop him. So now you got Superman, Icon, Superboy Prime. That's 3 on the list. That's enough people to take out what? Goku Black and probably Saitama. Both of those guys. Superboy Prime is infinitely strong. A great addition to the list. I don't think hardly nobody could beat him. Somebody would have to tackle him out of the ring or something. Some cheat to win. Next up on the list, Supergirl. She even got a TV show out. Another Kryptonian. Who'da thunk? Another Kryptonian on the list. They're like Saiyans, these fucking Kryptonians. She's basically like a female Superman. So now it's like you got Superman, Icon, Superboy Prime, Supergirl, who is like a female Superman that's a little bit weaker. So that's fucking 4 Kryptonians on the team, basically, if you count Icon, who ain't a Kryptonian, but still. Now, Supergirl's got super speed, super strength, X-ray vision, ice breath, you name it, she got it. She's not as fast as the Flash, but, you know, definitely going to be the strongest female character in the Tournament of Power. I think that she could probably beat Wonder Woman. She could probably defeat Wonder Woman very easily. Now, this is an image of her from the anime, or the cartoon. This is an image from Crisis on Infinite Earth where she died. So she actually been dead in the comic books before. Next up on the list, Flash. He's surrounded by the aura of the Speed Force, which makes it so he doesn't get ripped apart when he runs. Because if a normal human ran that fast, they had their skeleton ripped apart, their skin would be ripped off them. He can use Speed Force vibrations to do a numerous amount of things. Like, for example, he could vibrate through walls, run through time. Fucking, I think that if the Flash, Supergirl, and Superman all tackle Jiren at once, they could tackle Jiren right out of the ring, and the Dragon Ball universe would lose a character. Now, the Flash got something called, I think it's called the Infinite Mass Punch. Damn near unstoppable or whatever. Reminds me of Goku's Dragon Fist, but probably a little stronger. Flash got a TV show out. If you guys want to know more about the Flash, you can always look up all of his abilities. Next on the list is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman got the lasso of truth, but I don't think she'll be using it in the Tournament of Power. But she got flight. She got super strength. She's probably pretty damn fast, you know what I mean? Damn near super speed. Now, she's going to be a good addition to the team. Probably the second strongest female in the whole Tournament of Power. You know, with her combat prowess and her years of fighting ability, I think that she'd be able to do some damage or whatever. You know, the other universes that are going to be going up against them are going to be the Marvel Universe, anime character universe, the Dragon Ball Z universe, a universe consisting of video game characters, and another comic book universe of my choosing. So Wonder Woman is definitely on the list of DC candidates for the Tournament of Power, 1 of 10. Now, Wonder Woman got a movie out that demonstrates all of her skills and abilities, and the movie was actually a pretty decent movie. Next up, we got Darkseid. Darkseid runs the planet Apocalypse. He's one of the new gods, an evil new god. Darkseid been fighting against Superman for years. I'd say that he's DC Comics equivalent to Thanos. Without the glove, I think that Darkseid could probably beat Thanos. Now, Thanos been in the comic books since probably the 1960s. So has Darkseid. Darkseid got something called the Omega Beams, which could kill almost anything that it touches. In fact, when it hit Batman, instead of killing him for some reason, it sent him back in time. But I think that's what Darkseid wanted. I don't know. You can look into that. Darkseid's been featured in a lot of video games. There's an example of a collectible figurine of Darkseid. Basically, DC's Thanos, but a little more badass with no glove. Darkseid's definitely on the list. The first villain that we featured on this list. There's an example of the Omega Beams. Darkseid. One of my favorite villains. There he is holding Superman's cape. Formidable foe. Next up on the list is going to be Doomsday. Doomsday was strong enough to kill Superman. The foe who constantly evolves mid-battle, and if he loses, you'll never be able to use the same thing on him twice. So, for example, if Goku destroyed this guy with a gigantic fucking Kamehameha, reduced Doomsday to a skeleton, he would just come back. He'd come back and be able to fucking not be hurt by the Kamehameha. Now, Doomsday, he's basically all mass. He has hardly no organs. This guy fucking could beat Superman, so we know he's on that level. I don't know if he could beat Darkseid. He probably could. He probably could beat Darkseid. Doomsday's the second villain featured on the list. He made the list because he killed one of the strongest people on the list, Superman. There he is, tapping Superman's jaw, knocking him out. Imagine knocking Superman out, having Superman just laying there because you snuffed him. Well, that's what Doomsday did, and that's why he made this list. Anybody who could punch Superman in the jaw and have Superman just laying there on the ground, just laying there asleep on the ground, he made the list. Next up, Martian Manhunter, the shape-shifting cocksucker. He shape-shifts all the time, so basically if Omega Shenron was on the Dragon Ball Z universe power team, he could just turn into he could turn into his opponent, is what I'm trying to say. He could turn into his opponent, use all of his opponent's moves. He's basically almost as strong as Superman, almost as fast. He's basically like a Martian version of Superman. He's a telepath. He's basically Superman with all telepathic abilities, a shape-shifting telepathic fucking Superman from Mars. Of course this guy's going to make the list. Imagine if Superman could shape-shift and was a telepath. You'd have the Martian Manhunter. The Martian Manhunter is going to be hunting all the people from the other fucking tournament, all the other universes. They got this guy up in there. He was featured on the Supergirl TV show for a couple episodes, so you can look that up. Anybody who wants to know more, just Google Martian Manhunter. He's on the list. There he goes again. Look at him. Look how diesel the Manhunter is. Next up, Shazam! I'm just joking, I yelled Shazam. Anyway, Shazam is basically another guy on Superman's level. You got the wisdom of Solomon, the power of Hercules, Atlas's abilities, Zeus's abilities, Achilles' abilities, Mercury's abilities. The guy's super smart. He can regenerate from damage quicker than Wolverine. So basically you got a Superman who's immune to kryptonite, who can regenerate like Wolverine, who got magical abilities. I think Shazam might be able to beat Superman because Superman is weak against magic like he is kryptonite. So if Shazam, aka Captain Marvel, is basically a magical character, every punch is like being hit with kryptonite if this guy fights against Superman. So now we got a magical Superman level character who's super smart with a bunch of abilities of gods. Of course this guy's going to make the team. He's going to be a good addition. They even made a movie about this guy. I seen part of the movie. It was actually halfway decent. There he is. Shazam. Anybody who wants to buy me a cup of coffee or whatever could just log into my PayPal or whatever and just send it. All I wanted was some editing software and a cup of coffee to drink while I edit the next video. Hey, welcome to the end of the video. If anybody wants to like donate anything to my PayPal or Patreon, help me get some better editing software, anybody has any ideas for videos, they could always just leave a comment or hit me up or subscribe or whatever. You know, I just do this as a hobby, so keep in touch.